Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Today is going to be me talking about so far what I has been doing, what I have been doing since I was in college. And this basically the experiences of what I have so far. Sometimes the experiences that I have, cause I'm doing online college. I'm doing online courses at my college. And basically, this is like the experience, things I already experienced that I don't just want you guys to be on the lookout for if you ever experience this. And just know that you guys are not alone. Um, this is going to happen sometimes, but don't feel bad. So let's get into the video. I would like to say that so far for my semester of being online, almost close for like a year or so. Yeah, since like 2021. I would say the most experience that you're ever gonna do if you're doing it in person, if you're going to school in person, like for community college, that's good for you. You get to experience the teachers and stuff. But like for students who are not and they just doing classes online because that's the only thing that's available instead of in person, I would say pick your professors wisely and ask around if they ask any other student who have that professor or have any experience with that professor, because there's sometimes you will have those type of professors who are willing to help and put in the effort. From so far what I experienced, I have professors that help me out and understand where I'm coming from and tell me to do this and that. And I do sometimes get worked up because it's so stressful because you want to pass that class and it's like very stressful. I've been experienced being stressful and wanting to pass a class for like quite some time, and still to this day, as I'm in the finish of my spring semester going to my summer, that I do experience feeling the pressure and stuff and trying to maintain that grade so it doesn't drop and you have to retake the class. And I do get worked up, or like I keep sending my professors email and stuff just to make sure I'm getting understanding this right, or try not to freak out. And I try not to make them feel like they're overwhelmed with me because I'm making them overwhelmed because I'm feeling overwhelmed myself. It's just hard for me to do that in a way that I can express myself without feeling upset. I do that quite some time, and I am working on myself. I'm still working on that. That is a big part of what I need to work on myself about, and many other things. But basically for school, is like a struggle. I stress. I feel like this is like what I do when I start a new semester. I begin to freak out. I don't know what to do. But so far, so good. I've been able to be like, keeping in the back of my mind, like, don't worry about it. You can do this. Push forward. Push forward. Don't give up. You can do this. And it has worked for me for quite some time. And I will just be like, okay, I can do this. That's another way that's I experienced since I was in college. Another thing that I would say that I experienced during college time is just the assignments. Like sometimes I have sometimes I got an English professor I told you about, and she gave us assignment about an essay and stuff, and I felt like overwhelmed because my main weakness growing up was English. I struggle with, like, I have struggled dealing with sentences and stuff and try to make the sentences more clear and more explainable. There's like a college prep. They want you, when you write essays, they want you to do like a college prep student would do. Like a college student in general will do. Basically, they want you to write like a college student. And I have been trying to work on writing like that the best way possible without trying to make it feel like it's like a middle schoolish grade level work. And that's why I send my professor's email when I start the paragraph and stuff, because I feel like if I don't send them an email, I sent them an email like partially of what the work will look like and the title and what I explain myself, just to get their opinion about it, so they'll know. But like they'll know like, oh, she's writing this, she's getting a little bit good at it, she see what she's doing. But I want their feedback on, like, let's say if I'm missing sentences or something like that, or I should make it like more like college prep, however they want me to make it sound like. I will try to do my best to do it, because English is not my strength. I'm good at the reading. I can read and stuff. I had no issue with the reading and stuff. It's like writing comprehension. That's what I struggle with, and that's the main problem I have, which can be solved if I just like read more and all that other stuff, and just do like I could say vocabulary, but I'm pretty sure vocabulary. I remember my professor before I left the previous school that I went to before I continued here at the community college I go to. My professor told me to get a dictionary and then look up the words and write the word down, and do that each time, and then write the definition at the same time, just to understand what they mean. It's been years, and I was supposed to do that, and I haven't gotten to it. But I feel like that will help me with my English more. This is basically the writing, how to start off the paragraph, how to make it sound professional, college professional, how the topic of what they asking you, what you know, what you read, and add that detail. That's mainly the struggle I struggle with so much. And can reconsider that my professors will be like, hey, you can ask me, but they recommend asking for help, like having someone else proofread it for you. And I'll be like, okay. And what gets me about it, what really gets me so worked up, is that it's an essay that I'm trying my hardest on. I seen that part of that. I can't be mad at them, but I can just be a little bit upset, because I'm like, you initially set that assignment up for me. Like, you the one that puts out the essays for me to write and discover and learn something, or read an article and talk about what I learned. And all I have to do is try to make progress and make that paragraph stand out, to be like, hey, does this sound right? And yes, I know you guys gonna say in the comments or on this, whenever you see this video out that edit, you guys gonna be like, hey, that's what tutoring's for. Yes, that is what tutoring's for. Tutoring is the best way to start your paragraphs. And I'm starting to think, since I'm taking English 101 again this year, that I'm gonna have to set up an English tutor, because I feel like instead of always asking for them for help, they want me to get help somewhere else. And I'm starting to realize that that's going to be that's going to have to be the plan, because I know everybody gonna say there's like there's these there's like Grammarly. I know there's Grammarly. I'm going to use Grammarly as well, but I'm still going to have to get a tutor to help me start off the sentence of what I want to, like, help me the basic sentences of how I want to start. Because a professor would give you an email of an essay that needs to be done, and they'll tell you to follow each instruction. You do that by starting out what you need to start off. And when you and then you send that part that you already start off to them, so they can look at it. It'll take longer for them to respond due to the fact they got other students, probably. I don't know. Whatever they doing. But once they respond to you, they said, and you feel like they said, great, this is what you need to start out with, but they recommend you also get help from other people. I would just say just do it. Um, just do it, cause at the end of the day, to any professor, not even English professor, to any professor that offer you at say at the end of the semester or the beginning of the semester, and they tell you and you sent them that part of that paragraph, and they tell you to like do something, they recommend you get help from somewhere else. Just have that extra help on the side just in case. Prep yourself. My main mistake, I did that and I didn't get a chance to do it, but this year I'm gonna do it. I just gotta uh I just got an essay I had got done. I just finished it. I just need to like reread it and check if I have everything set up. I changed the word. I changed my sentences around to make it even and stuff. I just did it. I haven't submitted it yet, but I had to do that, and I got that same thing. They recommend get help from somewhere else, and now I'm gonna have to get help from somewhere else. I'm gonna have to have a English tutor on the side to help me out with something like that. Regardless of whatever professor that provide me, they give me an essay, I'm gonna have to do that. Not just an English professor. So yeah, I'm going to have to do that, and that sucks. But I'm pretty sure. I feel like they understand my help, but I feel like they trying to get me to go somewhere else to help because they feel like they can't always answer all the questions, which is understandable. And I just feel like there's no point in me asking you questions as a student then, because I know you have a lot of things on your plate. I know you're doing with your own stuff. I know you're doing with other students. But since there's no point in me, since this is assignment and the professor will be like comment on the assignment at the end. It said if you have any questions, email them. For me, there's no point in me emailing you if I'm gonna get that result of asking for help from somewhere else, or you recommend me help from somewhere else. Because I feel like there's no point in me asking you questions. There's no point of you even checking my work. I will, even though you're going to check it because you got to do it for grade. There's no point in you trying to comment on my work when I submitted it. There's no point. So I learned to the realization as of today. That's what I've been dealing with for college. That if you ever get an assignment, have a tutor on the side. Start having a tutor set yourself up for another tutor who deals with that assignment. To ask them to check it for you before you submit it in. Regardless, once you submit it in, it's still gonna get checked by your professor. But since the professor told you to go get help from somewhere else, you do that. You get help from somewhere else. Get it from a tutor. Check it yourself. Then ask the tutor to check it and tell them if they need to make arrangements for you to let you know about what the work is that you're missing and stuff, and then they'll help you out from there. And just do it like that if you're doing classwork online, because I think your professor leaving you a assignment to be done, and then they comment above or in the middle saying, hey, if you have any questions about the assignment, please email them. I feel like, in my opinion, don't do it. But you can if you want to. But if you feel like you're getting the same results, they tell you that it's great and stuff, but they still recommend you get help from somewhere else, just do it. Because I feel like you get that help from somewhere else, it'll be 100 times much better than what you will get if you email your professor about something and they try to help. There's some professors that are willing to put in the effort and help you out, and they're willing to work with you on this time by setting up appointments and stuff. But there's certain professors that gotta, like, I guess, a handful or whatever they're doing. That's none of my concern. And they sometimes recommend you to somewhere. Just do it, because at the end of the day, if they critique your work because of you submitting it in after you got it checked and they tell you that you're missing something, I feel like that's their problem. I feel like it's their problem. I don't know if it's your problem at the same. It's your problem, but I feel like it's my problem, but it's also their problem at the same time, because hey, you recommend me to go somewhere else to get the help. I did that, and I made sure I got it done, and I submitted it in for you, and then you tell me there's something missing. I don't want to be that student, but it happens. And then you mad at yourself, but you're really not mad at yourself because you make sure you had everything there. So wherever you miss, you just missed out on that point. That's fine. Don't cry over it. It's just a point. But I just feel like if that happens, don't try not to beat yourself up over it. This is to my future self also. I'm saying it to myself too. Don't beat yourself up over it. But when I do get essays like that, it causes me to stress. It causes me to stress over something because it's difficult. It's like you just recommend me to get help for something else when you initiated the essay for me to get done, and I send you a part of a what I have so far to see what it sounds like, and you say, yeah, it sounds great, rearrange your words or try to make it sound better, and I tell you that I will do my best to make it sound better because that's all you can do as a student. You're not an AI. If you were an AI, then you're gonna be like, oh, this, that would happen in that certain year and date, and then submit it yourself, and then the professor be like, oh, that sounds great, that's wonderful, that's an A. That's what they'll be like. But since you're not an AI, and you can't do it like that, and you gotta use your human brain to think like you're an AI to make a paragraph, then yeah, you have to do it like that. It push come to shove. But to any students who are good at writing skills, props to you that you're good at writing skills because you don't have to go through this. You don't have to get recommended help for something. You can just do it and then still get an A or B or C, whatever. To my future self and to anyone else, whenever you get an essay assignment, this is no joking matter, but whenever you get an essay assignment, please pray before you do the essay assignment. Pray about it and make sure you try to get that good grade. Yes, we do have a final. Yes, sometimes we always have a final at the end of the semester. But please pray over the essay assignment and the final, and then the final assignment too, like your final test, like finals. Please, after you finish the work, pray over it because you want to make sure you pass that class. Just talk to whoever you believe in your religion. Either Jesus or whoever else that you believe in, that you're whatever religion you believe in. Pray to that person. Let them know that you willing to pass that assignment and you want to pass it with a good grade, because the professors are not going to let you slide. They're going to critique your work and they're going to see if you got the help you need and all that other stuff. So yeah, I recommend you guys do that. But other than that, that's what I experienced so far in my college. It's just that you have professors that will help you, then you have other professors that will help you, but they're a handful, but they recommend you to go to somebody else to let your work get checked and stuff, and it's like you just sit there and you be like, what was the reason for you to initiate that assignment if you knew you won't be able to check it, but you'll check it when I submit it, and then leave a comment saying you missed something, when you try your best to make it sound like it's college professional the best way you could, and you did it the best way you know how, and you can, I know you can, and I'm pretty sure the professor think you can do better. Yeah, you could do better, you can do better, you can try, but you're not an AI. So where is this going to be coming from? Like, where are you gonna be able to pick up an essay and be like saying all this information to get an A? This is my personal opinion about it, but this is how I felt, and that's probably why I stress out a lot on most of my assignments. But for an essay, yeah, breathe. My future self, breathe. It's okay. it's going to be like that. But make sure you pick out your professors carefully and ask other students what type of professor that they dealt with, and see if you can get that professor. Because if you can get that professor, 100% I guarantee that professor will be able to help you. Even if you try to go get help from a tutor, or try to see if there's a tutor available, or try to get help, that professor will be available to help you whenever they can. Um, yeah, that's what I just recommend. This is what I have so far from my college experience. If you like more of these college experience things that I talk about besides my gaming content, which I'm still posting, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm glad that I was able to put this out there, because it's been waiting on me, and I did do an assignment, an essay assignment, and I haven't submitted it yet because I got to check it and stuff, and I'll be submitting it probably Monday, because it's due it's due Wednesday of this month. So I'm gonna check it, read it, see how it sounds, probably tweak it a little bit, change the little things around, which I already did today, but I'm gonna do it again just to be sure I have everything sounding right. And yeah, don't forget, like, things like this happens, try to find you a better professor, or try to find a professor that's willing to put in the help and stuff, and get tutors. And that's it. Bye.